Hey y'all, I'm back from the movies again, and I got to go to an early screening of Tuner, starring Leo Woodall, Dustin Hoffman, and Havana Rose Lee. Now, this is a movie where sound is super important. So when or if you're able to see the movie, I definitely recommend making sure you see it in like Adobe screening. Like that's what I saw at AMC. I went to one of the Adobe's because the sound gets very intense because we're getting it from his perspective. So there are times when things are really loud or painful, and it's also like loud and somewhat painful for us because we're experiencing what he's experiencing. So it's very important. But if you've seen the previews, like you've gathered that, Leo's playing a character named Nicky, and he's a piano tuner. He's being mentored and taught by Dustin Hoffman, who is like the male figure in his life. And what I appreciate about the movie is that you do get to learn a lot about his background, his life. Then obviously there's exposition, but it's through Dustin Hoffman's character Harry, because he has some like early onset dementia, so he's constantly repeating things and forgetting things and talking about the past. So we get that way, and then things happening. We got the family. Then Nikki ends up turning to I won't say a whole life of crime because there was a means to an end, but then he meets Ruthie, played by Havana Rose Lee, and things are going great. He's able to take care of his father figure. He's able to like be with this girl, and everything's going great. So then things are about to fall apart, of course, because he gives her this gift. You're like, oh, this gift's going to come back to haunt him. And lo and behold, this gift does come back to haunt him. And the people that he was doing crime with, they get really greedy about stuff, and they start to hurt him, and like they use loud noises on him. Again, like I said, noise is very important. Sound is very important in this film. And um, even with all that, I would say I was very satisfied with the ending. It made me very emotional. I know I've said this multiple times in other videos about how, as an artist, this is how I feel. But this was, again, as an artist, I just like felt his release his pain so much because his character used to be a pianist and then he couldn't anymore because of the hypercesis, the hyper sound issues that he developed from one time when he was young because he was a child prodigy as a piano player, a pianist. But I would say there were two things I would say that these are, I guess, are spoilers. Two things that maybe go about. One is that even though the criminals that he's working for, they work in security, so they know what types of saves people had. I was really surprised at the number of rich people who really just had those Turner saves. Like, when you have a better save, like, what is this? So I think if had this movie taking place in the 80s or 90s, I probably wouldn't have picked up on it as much. And then the other thing is, I don't feel as though Nicky had any serious permanent consequences. I mean, I know doing the crime was a means to an end, and he probably was going to stop doing it anyway. But yeah, he had no real like consequences to the things that he did. I mean, clearly him and the girl are going to make up, and they're probably going to become like this musical pianist people duo thing is going to happen. Maybe. I definitely recommend seeing this. It was a good time. Again, see it in something that sound is important, like one of the Adobe screenings. So, till next time, y'all.
You don't have to be perfect to be amazing.